Hello everyone, I'm Rafael Alvarez and this is Alvarez Metalworks. So as you guys know, this is my most recent shop update. It's been a while since I've done one of these. My video production hasn't been to the same level that it used to be. Quite frankly, it's really difficult for me to get steel right at the moment because of my day job. However, it's summertime, projects are picking up, and I've got big news. We're going to talk about the project stuff towards the end of the video, but I first want to get right into talking about the big news because it's actually really big news for my YouTube channel, for my shop, and I don't know if it's big news for you guys, but it's definitely some informative news for you guys. So anyway, first things first. Let's talk about the subject of discussion that's been on a number of my YouTube channels, as well as a number of other welding and fabrication YouTube channels out there, and that's being paid by manufacturers to plug products, to review products, to basically, as some of you guys have put it, being a paid hack. Okay? There are YouTube channels that are being paid. I don't hate on them. Do what you need to do to make money. It's obvious to me when somebody's being paid to plug a product, and I take it for what it's worth. I get my information out of it when I can, and so on and so forth. In one of my previous shop updates, I told you guys that if I ever encountered a situation where a company had approached me about showcasing their products, sponsorship, so on and so forth, that I would let you guys know. I'd be straight up front. My word is very, very important to me. I'm not going to lie to you guys. There's no amount of money or free gifts that's going to make me do that, okay? Integrity is very important to me. With that being said, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the difference between a manufacturer approaching somebody and a supplier approaching somebody. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I created a video, I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago. I'm just kind of throwing out a date based off of memory. My memory's kind of... It was a video about cutoff wheels. It was a comparison video. And it was some cutoff wheels that I got from a company called Roark Supply. Okay, I discovered that company through Pirate4x4.com. They were giving discounts to Pirate 4x4 members at the time. I don't know if they still do or not. That's something to look into if you're interested in that. Well, I was comparing their cutoff wheels to Harbor Freight's. And the reason I was doing that is because at the time I didn't have a plasma cutter, and I was using cutoff wheels like they were going out of style. And cutoff wheels can, they're cheap, but they can get real expensive real fast. And I was looking for something that was affordable, that had a little bit more longevity to it. And Harbor Freight wasn't cutting that, literally. So I was trying out the ones that I got from Roark Supply, and I was really quite impressed with them. And ever since then, I've been a regular customer. I wouldn't say regular because my work's kind of scattered, but I buy all my cutoff wheels and flap discs and stuff from them. I've been doing it for a while now. Anyway, Roark Supply, as of a couple weeks ago, I don't know if this is the first time they became aware of this video or not, but they had commented on YouTube, and I took the opportunity to approach them because they were showing a lot of interest, approach them about the potential for me to create more videos based off the products that they sell. Okay, they liked the idea. I got contacted immediately, and we're working out a deal. And what I have sitting here right in front of me that I'm going to show you guys in a minute is a bunch of stuff that they just sent me to use in my shop to test out, give feedback to them as well as to you guys, and basically create content, video content about it. So, with that being said, let's talk about the difference between a manufacturer and a supplier. Roark Supply is a supplier. Okay, when I say supplier, for those that aren't familiar with all the business, mumbo jumbo, a supplier is nothing more than a store. Okay, a Target, a grocery store, Amazon, an auto parts store, Home Depot, Lowe's. Okay, they carry a bunch of different products and they carry a bunch of different brands of products. Very few stores, suppliers, manufacture their own product. Okay, that's the difference. The manufacturer has time, money, and research development into the products that they produce. And that's the big difference between a lot of these YouTube channels that are approached by companies and what's happening here on Alvarez Metalworks. Those guys are being approached by manufacturers, okay? The problem with being approached by a manufacturer is that you can't be 100% honest with your viewers, because these guys are looking for positive feedback. They're looking for plugs. They're looking for advertisement. They're looking to get back what they invested into this product. It's extremely important to them. I understand it. It makes sense. It is what it is. They've got millions or hundreds of thousands, millions, depends on the company, invested into these products. They need to make it back. A supplier, on the other hand, they're buying products. Okay, they're reselling products that they got from manufacturers. So, essentially, the only thing they have to do is sell what they have in stock. And if what they have in stock is garbage, well, they don't have to sell it anymore. Okay, that's it, plain and simple. And a supplier is always going to run into bad products. Okay, the question is, does the supplier man up and say, okay, this is junk, I'm not going to sell it no more? And that leads me to my discussion with Roark Supply. Okay, when we first got on the phone and we started talking about all of this, the first thing I started talking to him about was integrity, and what I was willing to do and what I wasn't willing to do. And I flat out told them, I cannot lie. I cannot be dishonest. If you send me a product and it is bad, I am absolutely not going to tell you guys that it's good. It's not going to happen. And I told them, I was like, that integrity is very important to me. But what I can do, if you guys send me a product and it's bad, I can let you know that I wasn't happy with it. I'll send it back to you. There's not going to be a video. Okay? Their response was simple, straight to the point, and impressed me considerably. Basically, he says, that's what I like about your YouTube channel. I like that you're upfront, you're informative, you're honest. And he says, if I ever send you a product that is subpar, unsafe, or any of those things, let us know. We'll pull it off the shelf. And I was like, okay, that's fair enough. So, with that being said, one thing led to another. He sent out this box of product. Well, that was after I went through their entire website, every single product on their website, gave them a list of things that I could currently use in my shop. So I'm not creating fake content, basically. He responded back and sent me out a box. They're going to be sending me more product here in the future. Who knows what it'll be. But let me go through the box of stuff that I got. And just keep in mind, I'm not going through all this stuff in detail right now. I'm just showing you what they sent me. And know that I'm going to be creating videos about these products, letting you guys know what I think about them. Some of them are going to be long-term tests to find out if I really enjoy them. Some of them are going to be test videos where I'm just beating the heck out of the stuff, and others, they just may be, here, I'm using this product right now. So, first things first, zip ties. These are made by, or the brand name is Mighty Tie cable ties, 2 different lengths. You're going to see these very, very soon I'm going to test these out. Zip ties I'm real picky about. And anybody who's bought zip ties before, you know that you probably went out and bought the cheapest ones you could find at some point. And you know that they fail. The stuff at Harbor Freight, no good. Okay? Terrible stuff. So I'm going to give these a try. Hopefully these are really good. We'll see what happens. We're going to be using these for a lot of electrical work and Project Pathfinder, the roof rack, and ambulance project, and my boat project that we'll talk about later. Another thing that they sent me, and this is going to be more of a long-term review. Safety glasses. These are made by 3M. So, you know, for people that are fans of 3M products, you know, these aren't just junk. You know, 3M makes really good product. But these are entry level, I guess you can say, kind of throwaway safety glasses. We'll talk more about the specs and the details about these things later. Got some clear ones and got some tinted ones. They're slightly different. The earpieces here, the arms on them, whatever you want to call those, they're substantially different. So, and the coverage is quite a bit different. So, I'm going to be testing these out over, I don't know, the next month or so, and let you guys know what I think of them, how long they're lasting before I'm having to replace them. But these are very, very affordable. These are not meant to last a long, long time. They're the stuff that like shops would buy their employees to make sure that they're not spending $20 on this pair of safety glasses that eventually are scratched up in a couple weeks. And they're having to do that every couple weeks. These are the stuff that you got a big bin of in your shop, and when your stuff gets scratched up or to the point where you can't really see out of it, you go grab another pair. So, again, we'll talk about those later. You know, that'll be a long-term review, test review. And let's get on to the abrasives that they sent me. We'll talk about these first. These are a product called Macro Strip. Okay, if you look at them, they look like a very, very coarse Scotch-Brite pad, if you will. But they're on a 4.5-inch angle grinder disc with the 7/8 arbor. I'm sure they have different sizes. Basically, this is for like stripping down paint and stuff off of metal and things like that. I've never used these things before, ever. Not this brand, but never ever have I used this type of product, period. So this is going to be something that if you've never used this, that you're going to want to pay attention to that video and find out whether this is something that you would need, or maybe you would use another product, another style of product, which Roark Supply also sells. The reason why I've never used these is because I've always just bought flap discs. And flap discs could be real aggressive even with the fine grit paper on them. But I've just used them. Okay, something like this is not going to remove the metal. It may, but if it does remove the metal, it's going to be very minimal. It's designed to get rid of whatever is stuck to the metal. So we're going to give these a try and see if this type of product wins me over, and if I end up stocking this stuff in my shop for other projects. They also sent me these smaller ones. It's the same thing essentially. I don't know if it's the same brand. They just say strip disc on them. Again, we'll talk about these and these in a future video in detail. Okay, these are 3-inch, and then there's some 2-inch, and they go on the pneumatic little angle grinders. Not angle grinders, but I forget the name of it. They just screw onto them, and you use them. Same way you would use an angle grinder, except for it's not quite as aggressive. So they have the smaller ones. We'll be trying those out as well. So let's get on to the other stuff. The thing that I use almost the most in my shop as far as abrasives are concerned, flap discs. We have 2 different types that they sent me. Matter of fact, I'm going to grab one of each type. Okay. These are made by a company called CGW. It stands for Camel Grinding Wheels. Okay, this is a Z3 and this is a Z4. The Z4 is the step up. It's a little bit better. If you look here, you'll see one's a little bit thicker. Okay, this is supposed to last longer. You know, same product, same manufacturer. It's just one's a little bit better quality, just like all manufacturers. They got stuff that's on entry level and they got stuff that's on the real high-end level. So these are two different levels of the same type of thing. We'll be testing these out, letting you guys know, do I like these ones? Do I like these ones? Do I like them at all? How do they stack up against the other flat discs that I've purchased from Roark Supply, and just my thoughts on them in general. So we'll be checking those out, so stay tuned for that. And last but not least, they sent me cutoff wheels. Now, I want to talk to you guys about these specifically because when I talked to Roark Supply, one of the things that they had straight out asked me about was thin cutoff wheels and my thoughts about them. And I told them right away, well, the problem with real thin cutoff wheels is they tend to turn into projectiles. They explode, if you will, and then you got shards of this really, really thin abrasive material flying through the air at a pretty high velocity. And a quick Google search of, you know, cutoff wheels going wrong will probably yield some pretty horrific videos of these things going through face masks, welding helmets, into people's faces, arms, legs, stomachs, chests. These things are very dangerous, okay? They can be. You have to respect this. You have to be smart with these things because you can get yourself hurt quite bad. And we'll talk about all of those things and when I do the reviews and stuff on these. But the reason why they asked me about that was because they had some in stock that were real thin that they've been getting a lot of positive feedback from their customers. And they wanted me to try them out and shoot a video on them and let people know that these are good quality, they're strong cutoff wheels, you know, so on and so forth. But again, I'll put that to the test. I'll see for myself. I'll tell you if I think that this is a little bit sketchy or not, or if it's a legit product. We got two different types here, two different manufacturers. Again, CGW. And I don't know who these are made by, but they're made in the USA according to the label. It says hardware. I guess that's the name of the company. And there's not a lot of spec information on these. They're 4.5-inch discs, and they tell you the max RPM, and you know they comply with ANSI. What does that say? 87.1. Says to use safety glasses, stuff like that. The safety specs on here. But I can tell you right now, just by looking at these two discs, that they're very, very, very close to the same thickness, if not the exact same. And these are 0.035 thickness. They use a 7/8 arbor, both of them, so which is pretty standard on 4.5-inch angle grinders. So unless you got some strange angle grinder. They're both for cutting steel or stainless steel. I'm sure you can cut other metals with them, some aluminum and stuff like that, but when you cut aluminum with non-aluminum discs, they tend to load up. What I mean by load up is the aluminum gets stuck onto them and they don't work quite. They don't work quite right. So we're going to be testing these out extensively. I've got a lot. I don't use these as much anymore in my shop. I do use them, but not nearly as much as I used to. So I'm going to be intentionally trying to put these to use just for the purposes of testing them out and giving you guys a good solid review of the product. So if you don't see reviews for these products within the next, I don't know, 3 weeks, there was something wrong or something happened to me. So, and we'll be doing a follow-up review, another shop update specifically about Roark supply over the next, I don't know, maybe a month or two. And just kind of give you guys a follow-up on my impressions of the company and the relationship and how it's growing and the products that I've been using and how they've treated me. And, you know, as a customer, before any of this has taken place, they've done right by me. They're out of California. Shipping is not bad. You know, I get the stuff pretty quick, given the fact that it's from California. And the stuff that I've ordered, the prices are on point. And pretty much everything that I've seen on there, the prices are real competitive, if not substantially better. So, anyway, that being said, that's the big news. And stay tuned for videos about that. Again, you guys will get 100% honesty from me. They want me to give 100% honesty. You guys want me to give 100% honesty. And my integrity is more important than money. So, expect those videos. Now on to projects. As you guys know, subscribers, I've been working on the roof rack for Project Pathfinder. That's done. It's completely done. The only thing left, I guess, is just the electrical work for the LED bar and the LED lights on the back. For the last couple weeks, I've been in a mad dash and scrambled to get my truck running. It's been down for the count for about a year. And I was doing a manual transmission swap. Had an automatic. I've gone through, how many? When I bought the truck, I had a bad one. I put a new one in. It lasted a couple of years. Went out, put another one in. That went out 2 months later. Time for a manual. So over the last couple of weeks, I've been cramming to get that in there. This past weekend, Upstate 4x4, I'm the founder of that club. We had an event here in Central New York. It was our second annual run, and it was very important for me to have my truck there. So I wasn't concerned with shooting video. I was just trying to get my truck done. Got the truck there. Wasn't done. It was drivable. Lasted about 30 minutes before I blew out the power steering pump. All things set aside and the bad stuff. Had a great time. Glad I made it. Cost me a lot of money to make it. Just because I wasn't quite ready. Truck's fine. I've got a rebuild kit coming for the power steering pump. I'll be doing a video on that soon. Maybe this weekend. Yeah, so I'll do the follow-up for the roof rack, the final video once all the wiring gets done. And so that'll be here real soon. And I'm going to be doing a lot of extensive work to the truck. I'm going to be doing a roll cage, solid axle swap, double triangulated rear 4-link suspension, coilovers, the whole works. I'm going to try to get that done before it gets cold over here. Okay, which is late November or early November. So expect that. Got a few customer projects to work on. And the cool one that we're going to try to do a mad dash, try to get it in the water, is the boat. Okay, I've got a 1971 Aristocraft. 19 is the model, like the number 9 dash and then spell out teen. It's a vintage fiberglass boat with a hard top. Saw one at work because I now work for a company called Winter Harbor up here in Central New York. We work on yachts mostly. But we had this small boat that we were putting in the water one day, and I just happened to walk by it, and I was like, that's kind of cool. You know, it was a little rough around the edges, but the top sold me. I was like, that top is kind of cool. It looks a little bit gangster. It looks like a little chop top, which is probably not the most comfortable thing in the world in a boat because you want to be out in the sun and be able to stand up in the boat, and having this low top is a bit of a, little bit of a nuisance, but it's a sliding top, so you can slide it back, and it looks cool, and when things look cool, you just deal with it. And that's the way I am. So, I started looking up to see if there was any for sale, just to kind of get an idea of what do those sell for. I saw one that was fully restored for about $4,000. And then I was searching Craigslist, and there was nothing local. Searched Rochester, and I saw one for $800. And I was like, okay, that's a little rough, but it didn't have the top. And the top's the ticket. That top is what I wanted. So I started searching some of the other surrounding cities or towns, and I found a top. I found somebody who was parting one out that didn't have no paperwork for the boat, but he had the top, and he was about, I would say about an hour from me, south, and just near Binghamton, New York. So I was like, technically I have the money, but I probably shouldn't spend it, blah, 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 blah. The very next day I went to work and got a bonus out of nowhere. The bonus wasn't quite enough money to pay for what the guy was asking for the boat, so I called him up and asked for some details about the boat, and I asked him plain and simple, I'm in Syracuse, I'd like to come see it, but I'm not going to lie to you, will you take $600 for the boat? He said, sure. If you do cash and everything, that yeah. So I went out there on a Saturday, looked at the boat, went through it pretty thoroughly, called the guy down that's near Binghamton and said, do you still have that top? He said, yes. I said, hold on to it. I'll be there in about, 3 hours. Bought the boat, went straight down to Binghamton, got the top. So I've got this boat. It's not 100% ready for the water, but it will be very, very soon. My goal is to get it in the water by mid-July. So it's not going to be fixed to the point where I want it to be, but it should be ready to go in the water. Over the winter, I'm going to strip down the boat completely. I'm going to reupholster it. I'm going to repaint it. Basically, not a restoration because it's not going to be stock, but it's going to be like a resto custom. It's going to suit my needs, but the whole thing will be done top to bottom. So that should be fun. I'm going to make some videos about that for you guys, and I may try these out on it. We'll see how it works. I'll try them out on maybe the hull or something where you can't really see, and to see if it starts tearing up the fiberglass. But I'm real curious if this will remove some of that. The guy painted over the gel coat with like some Rust-Oleum or something stupid. It looks terrible. So, and it's got some bottom paint that I'd like to remove. I'm going to see what happens if I use that on there. So, we'll see. If that doesn't work, I'm sure Roark Supply's got something for me that I can use on it. So, anyway, that's it for now. I'm really excited about the relationship with Roark Supply and where it's going to go. Real excited about testing out all these products. This stuff kind of gets expensive in the long run. So, it'll save me a little bit of money and get some projects going. That's it for now. Thank you guys for all the support. Check down in the description for a link to Roark Supply. And stay tuned for some videos. I'm absolutely going to be shooting stuff over the weekend. Should be up by Monday. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Like always, subscribe, comment, like. Go to my Facebook page. Please go like that. Links down in the description, or just search Alvarez Metalworks on Facebook. That's pretty much it. Talk to you guys later.